All right, another one from the Discord, also known as Purgatory. Link in the description box down below if you give a shit to know. That said, from Hyson. Unfortunately, I can't do this one because they copyright claim me every time I do it, but other people are allowed to by YouTube because they do it on purpose because I'm not a filthy leftist. That said, from Hyson's request on the Discord, Alex Terrible, Slaughter to Prevail, Behelit. Ah, I'm getting fed. You're feeding me. Thank you. All right, you're feeding my soul. Bub Behelit. So one of my favorite original soundtracks of all time, period. Absolutely. One of the favorites of all time is the soundtrack that was created for the original Berserk animated series that was created in 96, 97. Bub Behelit is so good in that one. All right. Then again, I'm old, so maybe old stuff just sticks to me better. I don't know what to say about it. But God Almighty. That said, this is gonna be good. You ready? I am too. Let's jump in.
Oh, floating on the waters of the turbulent stream called fate. But then, our time runs out and the river of life dries up before we realize who we are. I have to find out where I really belong in this world. What is destined for me in this life?
Bub. Ain't that true though? I'm gonna address that before I go through the rest of this. Allergies. I hate them so much. That said, it is so true. So, if you are brave enough, a lot of people are cowards about this. If you're an atheist, you're theologically a coward. That's just the truth of it, right? You don't want to face up to or look at or think of the potentiality of something above yourself because it's scary. And so they'll dismiss it as like silly or stupid or dumb or oh, you little fanciful things, but they watch fictional things and worship them too. So it's like, and that's as someone who was an atheist until I learned otherwise and became a theist. So yeah, take of that what you will. That said, if you were to take the theological route when it comes to this line, right? Uh, we die before we know who we truly are. In a sense, that is true because even the oldest people you will meet, even those on their deathbed, everyone when they pass has regrets, and they either take them to their grave and spare others, the suffering of that doubt that would be planted from the seed of their regret being spoken, or um, or they speak of them in life. But everyone has that. So that said, that being part of it, and with the potentiality of there being a human spirit, soul, mana, whatever you want to call it, the extra thing on top of that is within us, on top of our consciousness, that animates us. If that is all purely real in every sense someone can think of, can we ever know the truth of it until we are dead? Or just take life in general and remove the theology? Can you truly Absolutely. Know yourself and what you are, why you are, how you are, the what, where, when, way, whatever, why. All of the questions before you die. Can you? Some will say, yeah, of course, sure, duh. But more often, those who would say that are those who are lacking their are lacking the awareness of their own depth. As in, basically, their container is capped off permanently on one section. And for them, it's down here. Okay? Cut the bottle and put a cap on it, and that's all there is to them. But that's by choice, right? People choose whether or not to be simply a creature or to try and be more. And those who try to be more actually have a cap that can be opened. And as you keep on going, you discover there is a lot more to life just in itself than what you would choose to limit yourself to. But what do you think? You let me know in the comments down below. All right, enough of all this. Let's get back into it.
I found the Behelit, and now I'm the master of not only my life. You won't belong to me. I'm your biggest nightmare.
So true. Transcendental entity. Absolutely so. God Almighty, I love it. I love it. There's really nothing else to add to that, honestly. He's saying it plainly and clearly, and I'm surprised I can actually kind of hear him. It's very rare for me to be able to hear lyrics for most songs, especially if it's not clearly spoken, pronunciated, and such. So, I'm surprised I can hear him here. But what he's saying, facts. Honestly, okay, people are going to hate me for this, although I do appreciate it in its own way. But when they did the reboot of Berserk, they failed completely and entirely to transfer over from the original version the depth, the just sheer and pure encapsulation of the lurking horror of the environment, the themes, right? The creatures and characters. They failed to transcribe all of that over into the Berserk reboot. When I watched it, I was dying inside. I appreciate it still because it's a continuation of the animated series in a way as well. But at the same time, it did not. It just did not capture me like the series from '96 and '97 still does. Right. And I have nothing against 3D animation or nothing like that. I've seen some series that do it incredibly well, but they failed. Still a good story. Still good to see what comes next, separate from reading the manga. All right. The two are not the same, but it did not at all, period, encapsulate everything that the original series was. Which it was sad to see. I was severely disappointed. But Berserk is still good. Okay. I couldn't hear the rest of it, unfortunately. Does he have the lyrics here? Oh, okay. So he was doing the lyrics thing. Okay. In this world, the destiny man can control by transcendental entity or law. Entity or law. Like the hand of God, hand of God. It's like the hand of God. Never seen worthless hand of God. It's like the hand of God. No. Man takes up the sword in order to shield his wound. Wound in his heart, sustaining a far off time beyond remembrance. Like the hand of God, hovering above. Okay. All right. Now it makes more sense. Because I was trying to listen, I could not hear the lyrics. I'm probably just deaf. Man has no control, even over his own will. Okay. Okay. And to answer that question, um, you know, is like the hand of God hovering above. At least this is true. Man has no control, even over his own will. That's false. And it's false because of the examples of human history itself. However, in the show, right, there's a lot of themes towards predestination or predestiny or predetermined futures. However, even in the show, even in the manga, this doesn't even seem to be directly true. And this is reflected in reality as well. Take me for example. After my first divorce, I was homeless. I lived out of my truck or my car in a warehouse that was abandoned, nearby my post. I still pretended like everything was fine. I still went to work. I still showed up. I took showers at on base or in gyms or at other people's houses. Um, I skimped, shrimped, and saved and crunched everything. I still had to show up, right uniform, right time. Still had to shit, shower, shave. I still had to maintain a fitness level outside of just physical training. Thank God for the on post gyms. A few times I just sleep in their parking lots. And then when they opened is when, I'd drive from work. I'd drive to work from there sometimes. Or off post you know, if the MPs would be like, hey man, you got to leave, it'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. Cops off post would do that too. Couldn't hang in too many places too long, or, you know, I had to pretend like everything was normal. I still had to show up. I still had to go to work. I still had to do everything. I still had to be a leader. I still had to be a soldier. And I had to pretend like nothing was wrong. When I did have another option to save my own skin, I did have another option to enrich myself, to make more for just me, period. I did have the other option. And the other option would have been to make hundreds of thousands, potentially millions, by using my, security clearances, using my access. I had it all. I had secret, top secret. I had TSSCI, which is secret compartmentalized internal. And then I had other accesses and clearances of which nobody in the public will ever know exist. I could have solved all of my financial issues overnight. It's not hard to find someone for whom to provide from my duty, position, my rank, access and clearances, knowledge base, the things I was privy to that most were not, and turning that access to my own benefit, to enrich myself. Like I said, I could have made hundreds of thousands easily, potentially even millions. The Chinese, the Russians, right? There were and still are some countries in South America that would also pay handily for it, including the cartel, right? There's even some allies, well, now former allies, who also would pay everything potentially they could to get an edge over the absolute beast that is the United States military. I could have done that. I could have made the decision and choice. You know what? I'm broke. I'm homeless. My paycheck ain't enough. My last divorce left me entirely destitute and in debt up to my ears. Negative $250,000. I could have sold out. I could have betrayed my country. I could have used my uniform as a Trojan horse to enrich myself at the cost of the safety, security, morale, health, and welfare of my entire country. But what do you think I chose instead? I chose not to. It was a decision. It was a choice. And it wasn't for the potential consequences. They wouldn't have executed me if I got caught. They'd do what everybody else did before me. They'd do the same thing to me. Just put me behind bars. I'd still get to live. Hell, I probably would have lived better. I wouldn't be homeless anymore. I get 3 hots and a cot. Jail cell. I wouldn't have to think or do or want for nothing else, period, for the rest of my life. But I chose not to. I chose to do the right thing. I chose to do the honorable thing. And honestly, it wasn't too terribly hard of a decision to make. Because I valued my morality, my ethics, and my principles. And in order to maintain my own integrity, I made the hard decision. So if that is not, free will, if that's not the ability to make a choice to determine your own future, if that is not the exercise of self agency, then what is? Like I said, I was homeless. Quite often I had a dumpster dive. See if people had leftovers. Go to the chow hall. Eat at the DFAC. Go to the USO for the free meals. Pretend like I was doing anything else on the weekends. There was no help for me. There was no assistance. I was alone. And so I volunteered for everything. Every mission. All of any potential duties. Hey, someone needs an extra body for training. All right, send me. We need someone to go fill in for some shit. Okay, send me. We need someone to do this, best whatever competition. Send me. We need somebody for this training mission. Send me. They need OCs over at, NTC or uh, uh, or JRTC. Send me. We need cadre for, this school, extra cadre. Okay, send me. We need someone to fill a school slot. Send me. We need someone to pull extra duty on the weekends. Send me. I dived headfirst into work, period. so that I could get away from the absolute misery and suffering my existence was. So that said, well, what's your answer? You let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's continue. Rest in peace, Kentaro Miura. Or as we say in Espanol, va con Dios. Go with God. Requiesce in pace. You are sorely missed. Rest in peace indeed. Well, anyway, that was a thoughtful one, wasn't it? Like I said, many times. Guts is my spirit animal. Except I could never be as cool. I'm not 8 foot tall after all. I'm swinging around a freaking 6 foot blade. But yeah, that said, what do you think? All right, what are your thoughts? You let me know in the comments down below. All right, you know what time it is. Be good. And I mean that. It actually takes effort to be good. If being good was easy, none of us would have to die for it. Evil is easy. So be good. Be safe. Don't compromise safety and security for nobody and nothing. Death and disaster is only a second away. Do what you can today. And I will see y'all in the next one. I am Badger7 Actual, the formerly homeless veteran, Blast Cat Badger, out.